Hello, search marketers. Welcome to the 18th episode of the SEO Show. How is everybody doing? I hope that everyone is doing great. Search marketers, before we start our live show, let's pray to our brothers and sisters in East Flores who are suffering from the flood today, right? And also for the safety of our brothers and sisters, the survivors of the landslide in Kupang, right? And if you guys wanted to help, I think there are already so many places where you can share your donations as well as yeah help the those who are needed, right? Okay, for today's show, actually let me grab something first because my speakers is not working right now. um, okay, now it should be working right now. Um, yep. So for today's SEO show, it's actually quite special because for the first time, I mean, this is the first time we are delivering the show in English. We used to deliver the show in Bahasa Indonesia, right? And I think it's kind of new for everyone, all right, including see that I'm quite nervous right now because this is the first time I'm using English at the SEO show, right? And secondly, we have our special guest, Sophia Yakovlieva, right? Sophia is the business development manager at Blurry. Here at Search Agency, we use Blurry on daily basis to analyze our clients' visitors as well as their behavior, right? And as you guys already knew, I think our search marketing as well as other marketing initiative that we run for our business today, the focus will be on delivering the best possible experience for the audience, right? It's kind of important part of our marketing activity, right? To understand how the user behave, right? And how is their experience when they are navigating and consuming our content, right? And today we'll talk all things about user experience, right? Uh, I think I talked too much. Search marketers, let's welcome Sophia Yakovlieva to the stage. Hi, Sophia. How are you?
Hi, Rida. Thank you so much for your introduction and thank you so much for such a nice beginning and for hosting this event. I'm sure everything will be perfect and your English is perfect, so no worries that this is your first time with a English speaking
Yeah,
event.
true, true. There's always the first time for everything, right?
Of course, of course, of course.
Yeah. Sophia, before you started your presentation, I mean, I know that you have been to Indonesia. How was your experience visiting Indonesia?
Oh gosh, I loved it so much that I'm planning on coming back at some point of my life. But
Hmm?
for the first time, I was there for almost 3 weeks, but it's not enough. It's completely not enough. If you want to see Indonesia, I don't know, you have to come for years. Well, at least one
Yeah.
year, I believe so. And what I noticed, you guys, you're so friendly, you're so open. I have so many good friends from Indonesia, and they were so caring and they were so helping us. So honestly, this was one of the best experiences. And I was during the student conference, so I got to know the students of Indonesia, and they're so
Okay.
smart. They are so bright. Honestly, that was a great experience.
True, true. I mean, most of people who are come to Indonesia, I mean, some of them are actually moving to Indonesia eventually. I know one of my friends who are coming from Croatia. First time he was come here, he spent like a week or two, I think, and then he come back to Bali and then decided to stay in Bali right now. Yeah.
That happens all the time. I have a friend. She went to Bali, and then they went to Lombok, and then the pandemic, the quarantine started. So they spent more than a year in Indonesia, and they were like, I don't even know if I want to come back home when the quarantine was
True.
over. They were like, I feel like I'm staying here. Yeah, because you have everything, and that's so beautiful. So that's hard not to fall in love with Indonesia. And I was so much in love that I decided to learn the language, but I didn't have enough time, so I didn't.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that the pandemic is going over soon so we can all be traveling again. then you can come to Indonesia one more time, right?
Of course, with a great passion, with a great desire. And when you have time, you're also welcome to visit Ukraine, because there are also a lot of
I would,
beautiful places.
yep, I would love to. I think most of us in Indonesia know Ukraine only because of one thing,
Which
Shevchenko.
which Shevchenko? Because we have two of them. I believe the football
The
player.
I think the oldest one, right?
Oh, the oldest
The one
one.
who
Wow.
was playing in AC Milan as well as on the World Cup, right?
Yeah, yeah, our famous football player. We're proud of
True.
him.
True, true. Okay, search marketer. I'll let Sophia present her deck. And as usual, if you guys wanted to ask question or discuss anything related to user experience, right? You guys can use the live chat features on YouTube, or if you guys are streaming from Facebook, you can also use the live chat on Facebook as well as on Twitter, right? And I think if you guys also wanted to ask in Bahasa Indonesia, that should be fine as well. I'll translate it to English later on, right? And I'll let Sophia present her deck. Sophia, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm sharing my screen, and tell me if you can see the presentation. Yeah?
Okay. Yep, I
Okay,
think.
okay, cool. Well, guys, if you have any questions, of course, ask me. I will try not to speak too fast, because sometimes I get too excited and I start speaking fast, but I hope that will be easy to understand me. Okay, so today I'm going to speak more about usability testing, and we're going to give you, my team and I, going to show you more website tips and examples. So this is shortly about me. I'm working as the business development manager at Blurry, and what we do, actually, we just help companies to be more effective, to work better, and we have different opportunities for different businesses. And we have 8 products, which are Heatmaps and events, the pop-up forms and NPS, the SEO checker, the SEO checker, video sessions, sales performance, and conversion funnels. And during this presentation, I will try to go more in detail about each one of them. And here below, you can see the partners who trust us and who are, let's say, good friends of us. Okay, so why are we speaking about the usability? Actually, there are a lot of different changes, right, in the marketing world. And so what are the reasons behind those changes? We made an investigation, but we had data for 2018 and 2019. And we used the sample of 10 million users in 6 months. So what we have noticed is that actually the percentage of bounce rate on the websites is growing. The conversion rate, logically, is falling down. That's why we have the less amount of viewed pages. But also what we have noticed is that there is the slight change, like a transition from the desktop version to the mobile version, right? So more people are using mobile. That's why the mobile traffic is growing. And right, there is almost no increase in the desktop traffic. And plus, people are spending less time on the website. Yeah, that's why we have the increase of the bounce rate. Over here on the graph, you can see the different data for bounce rate, pages, sessions, and you can see how the things are growing or decreasing for different versions. So like for mobile version, we can see that the amount of users is growing, whereas for the desktop and for the tablet, it's falling down. And for the bounce rate, same for the mobile version, it's a little bit bigger. So this gives you like a general idea to understand how the different versions have different indicators. And of course, that's understandable because we use different devices for different needs. And you might be asking, right, or maybe everyone who deals with business might ask himself or herself, so why there are few sales? And this seems to be quite a simple question to answer, but actually when you go deeper, you understand that there are so many different points you can focus on to solve those specific questions, to maybe find some small answer for your big question, why there are few sales. Well, we decided to give you just some ideas from our brainstorm session. And so first of all, it's we understand that the amount of competitors is growing, right? Which is nice because it means that the market is open. It means that there are more ideas that are evolved, but at the same time, amount of your competitors is growing. So it means that you have to be better, smarter, faster, and that's hard sometimes. Same, you can't say that the design that worked perfectly a couple of years ago will work perfectly this year. It doesn't work right now. Why? Because not only the amount of competitors is growing, but also the amount of users. And we as human beings, we sometimes can be naughty, right? We always want something new. So we want something that excites us. Therefore, the old designs might not be that attracting for us. Plus, the mobile traffic is growing, so it might be a problem for those websites who are mostly designed for the desktop version, because we all know that sometimes when you go to the website from the mobile, there are some things lacking. And I'm going to show you that in our examples of the bad designs on the website. Plus, small details. What is meant by small details? Sometimes on the website, there will be just very small, non-understandable things, like some icons without names, or you won't understand what is this pop-up form for. So those are small details which actually play a big role, because they either attract or ask the user to leave the page, right? Then, of course, laziness and time. Except for being eager for new designs, we are also lazy sometimes, right? So I even say that from my part, if I want to find something on the website and it takes me longer than 15 seconds, and plus I'm quite patient to find what I need, I just might simply leave the website, especially if I don't like the design. So those are just like simple psychological points of each human being, that we want it to be easy, we want it to be nice, to have this beautiful experience while we are on the website. Well, and another thing is also that there are also some errors in the usability and the conversion funnels. So those are the things that the businesses should learn more about and fix those errors to improve the performance of their website. Okay, well, there are few sales. Let's see how and what we can do to make it work better, and especially on the example of this Z generation. So digital human, or before we had a name like digital man, digital woman, what is meant by this term? We are seeing changes every day, right? Okay, especially when we speak about marketing. Okay, so now we have such a thing as, or such an object as digital human, and those are considered the generation considered to be born between 2000 and 2005. And maybe if earlier we would consider them to be kids, now we see that they are adults who are actively using new technology. It means that for them, their device number one would be mobile phone, right? That's why the mobile traffic is growing right now so much. And they actually have a very active transition to video format. That's a nice hint for those websites, for those businesses who mostly put their information into articles. Articles are nice. I love articles. But when you compare the performance of an article and a video, of course, the video would win, because video delivers the information faster, and that's something that our digital humans want to have. So how do users see the website? Yeah, that's a very interesting thing, because for you as a business, you need to understand the psychology of the user on how she or he will see your website. Is it going to be comfortable? What if there is some slight changes that you do? Will they affect the behavior of the user? And over here, so we decided to show you some web page examples. And I'm already smiling because I know you will see that why I'm smiling. Well, in February this year, we had a conference that was the CRO and UX party. And before this conference, for the registration form, we inserted a link for a game. Oh, okay, let me just show you. You will understand what I mean. So let's go here. Okay, well, this was the landing page of our registration form. And when the event was over, well, after the event, we had to analyze how the customers or how the future participants interacted with our website. And that was actually interesting because over here, by the way, what you can see right now is this sidebar. Those are the Blur tools. In the first part here, you see the filters. I chose February because our event was in February, so the data which is collected is for this month. Plus here you can choose the different versions. I'm using the desktop because we have more data for this version. And in this case, I'm going to use all traffic, but you can, when you use this tool, for example, you can use different traffic channels. And also here, right now, I'm going to check all of the clicks and tell you more about what they mean. But here, let's say you want to check the first click, so you can just choose this option. We also choose all countries. And over here, I choose the Heatmap. So now we will see how the user interacted with our web page in terms of clicks. Okay, so what we see is, over here, we had 44 clicks, right? And this shows that, well, there was something that attracted the users on our website. But actually, what was interesting, before the event, this button wasn't actually necessary because join the live broadcast would be working only during the event. What it tells us, we as the creators, we can understand that, well, actually, we attracted the attention of the customers, but was it really necessary, right? So it's something that we need maybe to fix, because right now, when the customer clicks here, it might mean that he or she won't click on another item, which might be even more important. Okay, well, let's move on. And over here in this first part, people were also clicking on the title. You see, there was one click. And then they were clicking on the data. And interesting, because there were no active links, but still people were clicking. So maybe for us, when we create a similar event in the future, we might insert some links to our articles, for example, because still people were clicking here. So they wanted to find out some information. Maybe we're going to include some information in the links. Okay, well, another thing is that now we see that some people even tried to close this registration form because who knows, maybe they didn't like it. But this cross wasn't active. It's just a picture. When we scroll down a little bit down, we see that people wanted to learn more about registration, about overview, which is nice. It means that participants were interested. It means that the audience was our target audience who came to our page. And now we see that actually lots of people were interested to see the overview of our event. Okay, but at the same time, you see how small the amount of clicks is for the section of speakers, which is strange because speakers, usually people, why do they go to the conference? Either of a very interesting topic or cool speakers, or both, right? So that's a little bit strange that more people went to the overview, but not speakers. Okay, we can think about this, right? And maybe make it better for the next time. Okay, well, about the event. About the event, there were actually no active links either here, but people were trying to click on those things to find out more. But no information. Okay. And finally, we go to this speakers part. And for the speakers, as you have seen, right, there were not a lot of clicks. You can see that we had 12 here, 8 here. Some people were clicking just on the name of the speaker, but generally, not many interested were in this part. Okay, well, if we scroll even a little bit down, finally we come to the agenda, right? So the agenda here in this first tab also had just maybe 2 clicks, right? Well, we can make an assumption that maybe the speakers and the agenda part were not that popular simply because people, when they came to the overview, the participants just started scrolling down, so there was no need to come back to this tab to choose speakers or agenda because those parts were already showing, they could already see this information. Okay, and in agenda, what we actually were so surprised is that, have a look. So in the agenda section, can you see the scroll arrow here? So the idea was that when you click on it, you would see more information. But guys, there was no clicks on this part. So people would click here, there, and over here, but not here. What it means? That might be really a very bad design, because who might even see this small error? It's really hard to understand what's that. So that's a sign for us to make it bigger, brighter, so that it works for the next event. And as you can see, people were still trying to close this section. So those crosses, they were kind of maybe even distracting. Well, let's go down, and over here we have the partner section, right? Let's wait a little bit for the clicks to upload. Okay, in the partners, not so active, so not a lot of people wanted to become partners. Even some of them tried to close this section, which is interesting because what it tells us? It tells us that the customer, the participant being on the web page, wouldn't like to have those many pop-up forms, right? Because it distracts us. Therefore, maybe for you that would be a nice idea just to have a plain, very smooth page with no extra features that would distract the attention, but just showing the information in a nice way. Okay, but of course that depends on your customers, so you have to play with those instruments to understand, to learn the psychology of your customers. Okay, we also can see that people were interested in our partners, which is nice. And then we go to the game, this legendary game that I told you about. But before we start here, let me show you something. So over here, we have just seen the data collected by Heatmap. Let's see the clicks in percentage. So for the clicks in percentage, our page is divided into 5 equal parts. And you can see that there are colors starting from red and going slightly to yellow or green. Well, the idea is that the more or the bigger the amount of views is, the warmer the color is. So from this perspective, you can see that this first part of our website gave us almost 50% of the total amount of visitors. It's a great sign for us. It means that people would come here, and if you as the business, you put something that attracts the attention, you win. If you don't, people gonna leave your web page. Well, at the same time, we see that the second part was also interesting. So here's the speakers. Speakers were interesting for our participants. Of course, not 50%, just 15, but still something. The coldest area, I believe, yeah, so this, of course, this is the coldest area, right? Just hardly we have a 9%. And that was the agenda. Interesting that people didn't want to know about the agenda. Why? Agenda is important, right? Because you wouldn't like to miss your favorite speaker, or you wouldn't like to miss your favorite topic. Maybe for us as the organizers, for the next time, we should put the agenda in the beginning. Okay. So we make such an assumption or a hypothesis that our first part of the website brings us the biggest amount of visitors, and the second part as well. Okay, let's check this with the scroll depth. The scroll depth tool divides our web page into 10 smaller parts. And with this, we can see that, yeah, well, our assumption works. Same. First region, we have 100% of visits, then we have 59% of visits, and it's just falling down a little bit. Okay, the last thing that we can check our assumption is the stanky mouse. With the stanky mouse, we're going to see where the participant or the user was spending the most of his time with the mouse. So our first region gave us 1,926 visits. Yay, that's nice. And the second region gave us even more. Let's see what we have in the second region. We have information about the event. Okay, so about the event was important. And I believe that for the next time, we might even insert some keywords here or some maybe active links to invite more people to spend time on this section about event. Okay, well, this third region was also kind of popular, the speakers, but the lower we go, the less attention we receive, right? Okay, with the text selection tool over here, what it actually gives you, it shows you which text was selected by the visitor of your website. I actually took a look, and I couldn't find that anyone would select any text on our website. But in case you, for example, use this tool, that's really cool to understand which words attracted the attention of a customer, right? Because the words are powerful, and especially when you know which words are powerful, you can make it even more powerful, let's say so. Okay, and the last two tools are the sales performance and quantity of sales. That's going to work for businesses who sell something on their website, because with these tools you could also see not only the click itself, but you could see how much money each click brings you, right? Yeah, which is a very cool information. Okay, so you have just seen the example of understanding the user behavior on your website, but that's not the end. You remember I told you about this legendary game over here. So let me show you how hard it was for some of the players. Okay, so you see the landing page of this game, and same the sidebar. I'm checking the heat maps. So the first thing the gamer would see when he or she enters this page would be the kind of like registration form, let's call it like that. And over here, to close it, and plus there are 4 different windows. To close it, the gamer would have to find the right button to close it. And guys, let me show you. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the heat map. Look at this. Look at this image, and what can you see? We just, I don't know, maybe by some habit, we want to click on this cross and close the tab, but it doesn't work. It's not gonna work. No. Okay, then what do I see if I just look at this page for the first time? No. Okay, I'm gonna click on no. And what no? No, it doesn't work. Okay. Then I have these big letters, UX game. Okay. Then I have this in bold text. Okay. And only then, when I go down, I see the slide text, please click here to go to the next page. That's almost impossible to see this text, but that's why we just made it on purpose. To understand how do people usually react when they are on a page? And because we're all lazy, we do not want to use our brain too much. Of course, well, you know what I mean. We just want to do things fast. We just want to make it a very smooth experience on the website. Therefore, if you as a business, you make it a little bit too hard for your customer to find the right button to proceed to achieve the goal, the customer would just simply leave the page. So you can see with this heat map, we had 225 clicks on the button no. Why? Because this button was big and it was attracting the attention. We had 86 clicks here. That's a lot. We had a lot of clicks on the next page, but there were no active links. And only here, with this please click here, finally we found 221 click. But you will see how much time it took for our gamers to proceed with this game. Okay, well, let me click on this part. And then the next page would be taking you to this registration form. And with the registration, I'm honestly telling you, this was really hard for some people, because over here, you would also have to be very, very attentive to understand what was going on. So saying we have a very large amount of clicks on the button cancel, but there was nothing behind this button. And only then we had a lot of, we finally got clicks on the button next, because as soon as you fulfill this form, you would have to proceed to another page. But for that, you would have to click on the next. And this is such a bad design from our side, but you remember that it was all on purpose. Because how can you make people click on next, right, when it's so blurry, you even can't see it? Well, the game was really fun, exhausting, but what I'm going to show you, we've got some examples of what the people did when they were on our game page. So let's see. And by the way, this tool is the video recordings, and important, you won't be able to see any personal data. So you see the general behavior of the user on the web page, but you can't see his or her personal data. Okay. And just look, it took the customer 8 minutes to finish this simple part. Okay, let me just make it faster. Especially with these buttons, your phone number. It was so hard to find. Wait, let me stop here a little bit. So you see, with this click, that was a very tricky thing. I do not accept the terms and conditions. And people would click here, right? But it means that you do not accept, so you do not need to click there. but we react very fast. That's why a lot of people click there. Okay, your password is not safe. This game was really trouble for lots of people. But from this, actually, you can have lots of good investigations on what the behavior, on what the user behavior is, and how can you make the website simpler, but in the same way, more comfortable for the user. Okay, let's make it even faster and see. Oh, wait, have you just seen this? There will be a pop-up form. Yeah, hurry up, hurry up. So we also input this pop-up form, which would make the customer even feel more stressed. Okay, so you see in general how this game worked and how sometimes it would take a lot of time of our gamers to pass it. And here I'm just going to show you one more example. So this was the person who entered the registration form. Okay, and in the beginning there was this registration form with lots of different windows to close. So what did he or she did? Okay, haven't registered yet. Event. Yeah, you remember that this part was really of great interest to our customers, to our participants. The person is reading. That's good. Let's make it faster. Speaker's part. Okay, going step by step. No attention to the agenda. Why? Right? Like, why? But and the game. Okay, seems like the game was attracting the attention. Well, the last thing I'm going to show you from this game is that, guys, you have to see how much time it took for some people to pass this game. So we have some people just would quit at almost like 2 minutes, like, no, thank you, that was too hard. But we have examples of 39 minutes, of 33 minutes of people who spent so much time to pass this game. That was a really hard game in terms of the user experience on this website. The design was bad. The journey, the user journey was very uncomfortable. So it's something that we need to think about when we create another game. Okay. Well, I'm coming back to the presentation, and you have just seen the web page examples, right? I believe that next time when we organize a similar event, we create maybe a different game, and when you want to try to check how patient you are, you should play the game. Okay, so over here we just give you the general idea of the first click in a percentage of a screen. Where is the first click? Where is the first click done on the page? So by the way, this information is taken from our experiences, from our investigations on our websites and on the websites of our customers. So you might have different information, but we're happy to share our results. So the first click, we say, would be mostly done in the first part, in the first 20% of your web page. And how is this divided? You remember I showed you the tool scroll depth when our web page is divided into 5 equal sections. So first click on the first part of the web page. Okay, so pay more attention what you put on this part of the web page, because you do want to make your customers stay on the page. What about the first click in comparison to different devices? For the mobile version, of course, we have mostly for the mobile version and the first part of the website. That's where we get the biggest amount of first clicks. What about the cursor hover? Where do we stay? Where the customer stays most of the time with the mouse? So with the mouse, sorry, that would be the second part of the page, the first part. But you remember, this tool would divide our page into 10 equal parts. So basically, we can say that the first part of the web page also has the biggest amount of cursor hover. So attention there, yeah. Okay, well, with all of this information in your mind, let's ask ourselves, so what to focus on in the further UX and CRO improvement? And you as the business owner, or let's say you are just a person who is interested in how to make the user experience better on your website, just ask questions to yourself, right? It's really good to talk to a good person, so why not to talk to yourself? So ask yourself, is my traffic targeted? Am I wasting my time, or have I really found my traffic, my target audience? Are there many errors on my website? Of course, I understand that when you create your website, you start loving it because it's just your website. I remember when I created my website, and I was like, oh, it's the best website ever. But then when I started thinking rationally, I found lots of errors. So we have to be very cold when we think about errors on our website, because of course there are, and there are different tools that you can run to check whether where those errors are. In our case, we have the very cool SEO checker. I always pronounce that incorrectly. I say SEO, but it's a SEO checker, which gives you different audit reports with where the errors on your website are. Okay, so you should also ask yourself, is my website easy to navigate? And to do that, what we advise is ask someone who is not that close to you, like who could tell you the truth, right? Ask them to navigate on your website and just give you a true feedback. Is it easy? Okay, then ask yourself, do all elements function properly? Are all of my icons popping correctly? What about the pop-up forms? Are they showing on time? Do they distract, or maybe they give something useful to the customer? Then, let's say you check your website with the heat maps and you see that there are no clicks. So why there are no clicks? Think deeper, right? Find different ways on how to solve this idea. Why is the bounce rate growing, or why is it lowering? Do I achieve my goals? How are my sales doing? And especially with the sales, do you remember those two tools, sales performance and quantity of sales? They are extremely good to give you the idea of how you're doing in terms of sales performance. And of course, doing usability analysis is a good idea. Okay, well, here's some information from our side about the bounce rate. I remember when I was a kid, I believe there was some game like Bounce. There was this red ball that was jumping, and I really liked it, but I didn't speak English at the time, and for me, it just was some random word bounce. But now I understand that bounce rate is something extremely important. So what we have found is that the bounce rate on the target pages. On the main pages, the bounce rate is up to 40%. On the category, it's up to 50%. On the product page, it can be up to 70%. Articles also get up to 70%. That's quite a lot, and well, that's understandable. You remember I told you that video formats are extremely popular right now, so articles are too, but they might be getting less attention. And for the product, that's also understandable, because you as a customer on the web page, well, I'm saying that from my experience, I feel like I want to buy something. So I'm reaching my goal, I'm coming to this product page, and then if I don't get enough attention, or like I don't see some support from the website or from the website support team, I might leave it, because it takes me to pay for the product. And there are lots of ideas in my head at that time. Do I really need this product? Do I want to waste my money? There are so many other things I need to buy, right? So this product page has to have something that would just make me stay on this page. Well, and the landing pages actually get up to 100%. And of course, there is different bounce rate information for different channel traffics. That's something that you have to investigate for your specific website. Okay, well, another thing what we wanted to show you is that when you analyze your website, or especially when you analyze the user behavior on your website, you can't simply analyze all the users under the same condition, right? Because users come from different backgrounds. Same as we people, we can't be judged the same. Well, we can't be judged generally, and that would be nice to have different attitudes to each one of us, because we all come from different backgrounds. We have different experiences. So in most of the time, when you want to understand someone, you can't just think in a plain way, right? You have to think more of the background of the person, why he or she is behaving in this or that way. Same thing happens with the websites and the user behavior. So with this image, we're showing you that there are so many different channels, the funnel channels. For example, let's take a look at this second example. We tried to track one user who would be coming to our website a lot of different times. So what we have found, and we built this kind of like in the journey, in the user journey. First, he came to us by the organic search. Okay, Then he or she left. Okay. Then he or she came to our website 8 times directly. Okay. Each time he would be leaving or she would be leaving. Well, then there would be referrals, direct 40 times. So you can imagine how the person was thinking, or maybe like he or she was really taking some time to make some decisions. Well, then he or she left, and there was social network, then again direct, then social network, then again direct. So with this journey, we already can think that there is something important on our website which does attract our customer. What do we do next? Well, let's maybe think, let's brainstorm. If that's a website that sells something, so what if the person is just waiting for some discounts? If so, let's just give him or her a discount. Let's make a personalized discount for this specific user. Maybe the matter is not in the discount. What if he or she is thinking or comparing us to some other products? We can run some surveys, we can have some pop-up forms, we can ask him or her share what they think about. And if so, we can try to make our product look better in comparison to the ones that he compares us to. So different scenarios, different ideas that you should brainstorm and you should implement to find this truth that would work specifically for your business, for your website, and for your customer, because we're all different, yeah? Okay. Well, to sum it all up, the user behavior can be analyzed in lots of different ideas. But still, it's not something that you can just simply analyze and say, okay, now I know everything. No, because user behavior is about humans, right? And we as humans, we're sometimes so unpredictable that even if you have everything perfect in your mind, it doesn't mean that you still have the truth. But still, using the correct tools will give you more probability to make correct assumptions and then take correct steps to achieve your goal. So what we offer from our side is using the dynamic heat maps. Dynamic heat maps is such a cool thing that it means, for example, if there is a customer in completely another part of the world and he or she is doing something on your website, in a matter of time, in a couple of seconds, you will see those clicks already on your profile, on your web page. That's amazing. Dynamic clicks. So they give you an opportunity to take decisions at the same time as the process is taking place. Over here, you can have different user groups, right? That's what I told you. You can't analyze everyone with the same standards. No, you can create different user groups and then analyze them separately. That's the best way to make smart decisions. You have different versions for mobile, desktop, and also tablet, but tablet is just getting less popular. You have different channel traffics. You have first click. You can check where this first click was done. That's so powerful. Then you can also analyze the group of clicks, or like the sequence of clicks, and the text selection. You remember about the power of word. Then you can also see the scroll mobile and desktop. That's when our web page was divided into different parts with the different colors. You can also see the cursor hover desktop and video sessions, which is also divided by different user groups. With the video sessions, you have just seen how we could see the behavior of the user while he or she was registering for the game. That's such valuable information for us to make right decisions in the future. Okay, so let's just talk a little bit of the facts of user behavior. Okay, well, that's something. Sorry, I'm smiling again because I remember. So this first image that you see on your left, that's a real picture, photo taken at our office. And I'm laughing because when I came to the office for the first time, so I came to the kitchen and there were 2 rubbish bins. One of them was closed, another one was open. But at my time when I was there were lots of trash here. So like almost no place to put anything else. So imagine I'm standing on this place and I'm new to the office, right? So I'm new to this company. So I might feel a little bit uncomfortable of asking people which rubbish bin to use. So what do? I put the rubbish in this bin, even if it's full, just because I've seen the examples of people putting the rubbish here. that's just a simple example of how we as human beings think. So we would usually follow the examples of others, which is normal. That's just our nature, that's our psychology. But it's also good for us to understand that when we build a website, we have to think on what would a user usually do, right? Not the idea of what would be the smartest option to do. Of course, for me, the smartest option to do would be to open this rubbish bin and put the rubbish in here. But I didn't do that because of my personal, some personal facts. Who knows, right? So think about a user as a live being, as you are. So how do you react? How do you act on the website? And with this example, we wanted to show you how sometimes it's just a very nice act to write on the subject, on the object, what to do. I bet you also had those problems with pushing or pulling a door, and it's such an awkward moment when you don't know what to do because people are starting to watch, to look at you. So just write, push. Same on the website, right? If you have some icons without names, what do they serve for? Just write down icon for something something, and everything will be easier. Okay. So what does not function on the websites? That's something that we brainstormed, and we can tell you with security that banners on the main page. Why? Main page is not that attractive for the customers. Usually you wouldn't go to the main page, right? Main page is just, let's say, the whole of the house. But we just spend a little of time in that hall, right? We would usually go to the living room, we would usually go to the kitchen. Oh, kitchen is important. So banners on the main page is something that just a little bit wasted. Think where the banners would serve you better. Articles do not always bring conversion. We spoke about that. Non-obvious icons. Those icons that just exist, but you have no idea what to do with them. So what's the purpose of that icon? Long pages. Of course, long pages, they do not work. Who would like to scroll down? You have seen on our registration form for the event, the lower we go, the less amount of visitors we have. Then obscure calls to actions. If you want the user to act, make this call to action bright and big. And identical elements. Don't have identical elements. The customer, we always want to be surprised, and we can't be surprised by identical elements. And the last part would be just giving you some short examples of the bad website usability. So over here, we speak about the icons. Two different icons. What do I, as a customer, do? I have no idea what this icon is for. I have no idea what this icon is for. So why wouldn't the creators of this website just simply write down, okay, maybe that's filter, that's maybe menu, that's it. It gives me, the user, more space not to think about which icon to choose, but already to make decisions on the page. Over here, what we have seen is that when you ask the customer, enter your email to stay in touch, it's not going to work, honestly, because what do I get what do I get when I put my email? Nothing. Okay, well, another idea, get 10% off for your order. That's a good approach. Here I am, I want to subscribe, I want to get a coupon, and that's understandable because we share energies, right? So when you want to get something from me, that's nice to receive something from you. That's our psychology, and it's a good thing. So just offer something before asking something. And by the way, honestly, with our pop-up forms, what I really like is that you can create them in so many different shapes, in so many different designs, and you can decide on which part of your website to put it, when do you want to show it. So there are so many different ideas. Honestly, especially if you like to create, those pop-up forms of Blurry will be a perfect match for you. Okay, well, this is when we spoke about banners on the main page. Okay, let's imagine we have those cool banners on this main page, but there is no one on this page. So who cares about this 30% off? No one, because no one sees that. That's why just try to put the banners on the pages which are specifically related to amazing shoes. Yeah. Oh, with this thing, we just wanted to show you the idea of how many people out of the total percentage of visitings does stay on the main page. So it's really a small amount. Especially here. So when that's what I told you about the call to actions. as a user, I like this page. I like the colors. Everything seems to be very nice. The girl here looks good. The words are beautiful. But what do I do next? Where do I click to make something? Right. So just put the call to action here, and the sales performance will be increased tremendously. That's the same thing about the banners, right? They are very nice, but they are on the main page. So almost no one will be able to use those sales. Over here, what we have seen, that sometimes on the website you might have identical elements, yeah? And we have understood that actually we have a lot more clicks on this banner. Those are the same banners, just different designs. So for us, that was a sign just for the next time, delete this icon and have just only this one, and not to distract the customers from choosing, shall I put information here or there? This works perfectly. So there is no need in having two identical elements. Oh, this is something that happens especially with the websites who haven't developed their mobile version yet. So let's say on the desktop version, with this item, with this product, there would be some information about the product, like price, characteristics, and so on. But because of some problems while switching to the mobile version, which is underdeveloped, you could see the product but no information. And what, especially with the mobile first index, right? The mobiles are getting more and more popular. This is something that this business should emphasize on and make sure that the mobile version is working correctly. And just the last examples of that, usability, that just happened to us. We wanted to come to this website store, Google, and when you go there, it asks you which language you want to speak, like which country you're coming from. So we decided to take US, okay. And then what we wanted to check whether this website remembers our decision, and we entered the same web page, but from a different browser. And we had the same question, which language you want to speak. That was disturbing. And then we even found some articles with the active links to this specific website, and we entered this website from those articles to check whether this website collected information about us, about our decisions, and it didn't. So we had to input the same information again, and it was disturbing, honestly. So bad example, yeah. And the last thing here, sometimes when the website has different languages, you might experience some problems. Like, for example, in this English version of the website, we input in the search area keyboard, and for the keyboard we have different variants. Okay, then we switch the language of this website to German, and we input keyboard, and we don't have the same information, which is strange because no one would be translating the specific product name to another language. So that's the bad example of the usability, and the creators of the website, the developers, should focus on that. So just to sum it all up, you have to check once, you have to check twice, you have to check really lots of times your website to make sure that everything works smoothly, to make sure that the customers are satisfied, and that everyone is getting a nice experience with visiting your webpage. Okay, guys, so that's the end. And from my side, I'm gonna leave this information, and maybe of course I'm going to share this presentation with our organizer so that he could send you more information. Here we give you the example on the SEO mistakes investigation, let's say so, that we made with a template monster. You can see there's lots of different ideas, lots of different thoughts from our technical team who was working on this investigation, and I'm sure you will find something interesting for you. And also we have the usability website testing with a checklist with 210 points. So if you are in this topic of usability testing, of usability website testing, you will find this interesting. And of course, we are so happy that you're watching us, that you are interested to learn more about usability. So we, as Blurry, we offer you a discount for different packages, and more information, I believe, will be provided by the organizers. But you can have 3-month package, 6-month package, and 12-month package with different discounts. And especially if you are to choose the annual package, you already see the discount over here. So that's something that we are welcoming to use. And here, guys, you have the free YouTube videos, because the latest event that we hosted, we had such amazing speakers that you can just simply use the link over here, or we somehow find a way to send you the link, and you can enjoy those videos, because the topics were extremely useful, extremely powerful. Okay, yes, thank you so much. And here is my email, so feel free to reach out. We'll be happy to answer. Yep. Okay,
Okay.
here I am.
Thank you, Sophia. There's a lot of
Thank you so
information,
much. I
guys,
know, I
on
know.
the user experience, and I know that for some of you guys, search marketers, user experience, UX testing or usability testing is might be something new. But as we discuss a lot on our show, right? That SEOs today, I think we need to think about user experience, right? You guys already knew that this month, actually next month, right? Google will launch the page experience update, right, as part of their initiative to improve the search audience experience, right? And I'm someone who believe apart from the core web vitals course that we always discuss on our show, there is also other part of user experience that you guys need to learn and check, right? The one that Sophia was showing us a lot on her presentation, I think. And for me, I mean, as a search agency, Sophia, using Blurry is already on our daily workflow right now, right? So we use Blurry a lot on our clients campaign. Not mostly, it's not as complex as you show search marketers tonight, right?
Mhm.
But as simple as learning how our content, our articles that the client are publishing, right, are consumed by the audience, right? From the heat map, scroll map, right, or from the click map data that Blurry show us, we kind of understand, right, whether the search intents are answered by our article or not, right? It is something that we use a lot on our SEO campaign, right?
Oh, that's really
So
good to hear.
yeah, true, true. Sophia, we have several questions that I'll also on the screen right now, right? The first one is from Palerga 007. Hi, Sophia. About color, what kind of do you use for CTA and how important it is for users, right? Is there any basic colors we have to use?
Oh, that's a good question, because with colors especially, you can play so much. But I'm gonna share some answers by our previous speakers at our event, because we asked them. We had some similar questions. Is there any color that we can always use? And the answer is, well, of course, the color shouldn't be aggressive, because you just think about yourself. Which colors make you feel more relaxed? Which colors make you feel more energetic, right? So that's this pattern that you have to maybe first ask yourself. But I would say that, of course, colors should not be aggressive, because I remember from my experience, red color is something that my teacher would check my errors in my copybook at school. So for me, red color might be too aggressive, might not attract my attention. But those pastel colors, those very nice colors, they would usually attract attention. But at the same time, the design of the website is a completely specific topic for each business, because when you create the business, the website, you have to understand who you're creating it for. How do you want your product to be perceived by the users? So I can't say there is just one color that would work all the time, because it's a very complex
Yeah.
question that you have to investigate. And just from my experience, when we created a website for the we have the ecological project, and we worked with a design for a couple of months. He was learning our patterns of behavior. He was learning the idea of our project. And only by the end of 4 or 5 months, he came up with a color that could identify us. And what I understood, that there is not such a simple answer as yellow is good every time.
Sure.
Your business is very unique case.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. I mean, you need to test. This is where UX usability testing, CRO come in place, right? Because each and every businesses, each and every website has its own audiences, and every audiences has their own behavior, preference, and stuff like that, right? So you need to test. I agree, right? There
Exactly.
is no kind of magic words to deal with this. Right? Yeah. Okay. The next one, this one is from Eki Riandra. Interesting topic. I'm quite curious about paywall subscription method, especially for media. Might it bad for UX, but in the other hand, that's the company business model. How to deal with it?
Hmm. Wow. Honestly, Rita, I'm not quite sure about the paywall subscription method, especially for media. Might it be bad for UX? Hmm. Same testing, because it's not like you can say that it's going to be bad. If you have different options that you can try, let's say one method and then another one, you could compare the data, especially using the tools that I have just shown you. That's when you will receive this correct answer. Because with this, is it bad? Quite hard to say, honestly. What do you think?
True. I mean, it's also related into to the content itself, right? Some media, they are quite confident that the content is very valuable for the audience. For example, if they are serving a financial data that they need to research a lot before publishing the content, they might be using the paywall method because they don't want free audience to kind of consume the content. They need to pay for the content, right? And I mean, I think it also depend on the audience itself and the content that they are serving, right? If the audience are willing to pay and the content are valuable for them, I think paywall subscription will be an okay way for this kind of business, right? Even though in Indonesian market, especially, it's kind of hard for media to live with this kind of business model, right?
Mhm.
And most of our mainstream media are still living from the advertising kind of business model.
And
Yeah,
especially here, so if I understand that correctly, that you say that it's company's business model. I believe that if that's your business model, you can always create inside of this model. So you can make it useful for the users or like easy for the users to use. So you can't say
Mhm.
that this method is bad for UX. Well, if that's your company business model and you, let's say, respect it, so you just simply test and see what's the best way that works for the users
Sure,
to have a good experience on your web page.
sure, I agree. Yeah, another question, Sophia from kuchari.com. Right. Hi, Sophia. How to
Hmm.
increase shopping cart purchases for B2B e-commerce with user experience, right? Because from our experience, many users prefer to order by phone or email.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
that's
good question.
yeah, that's a good question, because it actually, I don't think that it just touches UX on your webpage. That might be just the mentality, or
True.
especially which target group you work with. Because just from my experience, well, let's say I'm kind of like this Z generation. So for me, texting is easier, messaging is easier than calling. Like I wouldn't like to call anyone to ask to buy something. I just simply book that online, and I receive the payment details, and that's it. But let's say for the older generation, it's easier to call because maybe it gives more trust because you hear the voice. So with this UX, I'm not even sure that the person would be affected by the changes in your UX if maybe he or she even doesn't enter your web page. So for you, maybe you can either expand your business and make it for two different target audience. The one who still prefers to order by phone or email, that's good. You have that audience. You can just maybe make the phone process of booking or the email campaigns for this target audience better. But at the same time, you can just simply start looking for another, maybe, well, I don't want to say younger, we're all young, but more, let's say, digitalized audience that would be more comfortable with buying online. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, true. My grandpa are still buying everything offline, right?
Right,
As
and
for
that's
me,
okay.
true. I mean, as for me, I didn't buy anything offline again. Even my groceries, we buy it online right now, right?
Well,
And it's more about mentality. I agree with you. I mean, that's why before the all this technical thing, the UX kind of thing, uh, we also need to understand who is our audience, right? And how are they behave, right? The behavior of their uh, of this audience, right? As well as their needs and everything, right? Then after that, we can kind of test it with our tools to see how they react with our content and then how they consume our content and navigate our websites. Yeah,
Of course, yeah. And
cool.
one more thing I thought, what about we attract the customers with some discounts? So like if you call, you won't get a discount, but on the web page you can get a discount. But at the same time, I thought, imagine, for example, my grandparents who want to buy something and they see that there is a discount if they buy it online, but they just do not know how to order it online. So they will ask me, a younger person from the family, to book online. But it doesn't solve the problem itself, because still the target audience is the generation with the mentality who likes to buy by calling or by emailing.
Sure.
So yeah, just
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it can be an ideas to execute, right? Giving them some kind of discount and everything. But even though those older generation is sometimes kind of difficult, right,
yeah,
to
they
deal
just
with.
like their
Yeah,
traditions, and that's okay.
true, true. Okay, Sophia, I think we are run out of question, but again, thank you for sharing all those information on UX testing as well as usability testing, right? And search marketers, again, if you guys wanted to try Blurry, you guys can go to blurry.com, right? And sign up there. I'll share the presentation that Sophia presented tonight, right? So you guys can find the discount code to use, right? But I, if I might share, I mean, at search agency we use these tools as our own in-house tool, kind of, right? It is on our everyday workflow, on our optimization process, especially for our clients, right? And I truly believe that it can be very valuable for search marketers, right? So Sophia, terima kasih. Right?
Oh, terima kasih, terima kasih. I remember this word. Terima kasih.
Yeah, terima kasih. So thank you, and I guess I'll see you again at another opportunity.
Oh, that will be so nice. Ridos, thank you so much for running this show, and thank you so much for everyone who watched us. So there will be the recorded version, right? Because I have some people who want to watch
Yes.
it. Yay, that's nice. That's nice. And I'm going to send
Yep.
you the presentation so that you can share that with our audience.
Sure. Search marketer, I'll share the presentation on our Telegram group. You guys can get it on our Telegram group. Thank you again.
Hey,
Bye
cool.
bye.
Thank you so
Good
much. Have
night.
a good day. Bye bye.
Bye.